still in the well above average camp of players. You know, like, I think of Distributed as one of the players that's in the top 1 or 2% of DDO. He may be one of the best players I know of. Man, my mouse feels super weird too.
See, that comes down to the thing, like, what's the best DDO player? Like, what I think the best DDO players might not be to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right, which is fair. However,
I'm a very, very good Madden player. I've played tournaments for a long time. So, like, you can give me the Oakland Raiders, which I'm not a Raider fan at all, and I can play well. Other guys that I play with, they only play with, like, certain players, certain teams very, very well. But they don't do very good tournaments because the first time you play with somebody, it's a random team. They randomly pick. And the second time you play, you use who you want. So I'm always very good at I practice with all of it. Some guys just don't. They just... Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. And that is definitely a quality that I think some people can consider the best. When I think of the best, I mean people who are out there doing things like, you know, soloing R10 raids and like grinding out the super small percentages and maximizing, like pushing that final edge of damage and survivability and yada yada yada. Their knowledge and ability to do literally any quest. You know, like, I feel like I can get through most quests. I'm pretty good about most things. But, like, Distributed makes my knowledge seem like I don't know anything. Like, he's just on a completely another level than me. And I feel like I'm a pretty good player. Like, I feel like I'm probably a top tier player, you know? Like, I would say I was tier 1.
I think you're very, very good at, like, having, like, 4 hirelings in your group and pointing them in certain places, having them ready to pull certain levers certain times, distributing all that while streaming. So yeah. I could do that.
Getting all that kind of stuff done. Like, but I'm not going to sit there and turn around and go do, like, an R10 quest 6 times until I get my first, my completion in. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not who I am. I'm not going to sit there and grind my head against the wall over and over and over again until I get what I want done. Tobrel and Distributed, on the other hand, those two mother truckers, they're like, oh yeah, we figured out how to go solo this raid, like, or two-man this raid on R10 or whatever. It's like, wow.
I bet you that's with an optimal build, though.
Yeah, well, they are. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're taking, to me, that's the ultimate player, is when you figure out what's the ultimate build to achieve whatever goal is that you're looking for.
See, to me, I'd be like, hey, you guys are really good at R10 on that Alchemist Bombardier. Go do it with a stick monk.
Yeah, and then the argument would be that's not optimal for getting things done, which is fair. That is fair. But for me, the best player is not do it with what somebody thinks is an okay build. I want you to show me what boundaries can be pushed in the game.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
And to me, like, so for example, would be if I were to set up and build like what I think is the top tier build right now, the odds are pretty strong I'm going to end up with some sort of Pale Master Wizard build.
Or maybe a Barbarian or something. Those will be pretty tough now.
Almost never. I'll probably have some sort of, because that's how I think. That's how my mentality is. Like, I favor wizards over a lot of things. I don't know what that is. Let's go look.
So I got a buddy named Mitch that plays on Origami, and he is, playing since the day the game came out, and he just played everything upside down, inside out, but his favorite thing is 14 bars, 6 ranger, and he does a freezing bar with 2 scimitars. And I've seen him play. I've been to watch him play. He just obliterates everything. Like, just, it's insane. But for that, someone else may not be able to play that build. They casters well.
Right. And when you look at it, you're like, okay. And can that guy go in and solo R10 raids? Maybe, I don't know.
He just solo. I know he's in R5, but I've watched him go to his house before. Like, nothing like this.
Right. So then you're like, alright, that's great. Now go do that on a build that you're not good at. Or a build that you think is suboptimal.
That's why he's a good player, because he's done all kinds of
same thing with... Again, same thing with like distributed. He goes through and he's like, this is what I think is good, and I'm gonna build it. I'm gonna build what's good. You know, and that to me is a skill that I think a lot of people could use, is figuring out what is good and playing that, even if it's not necessarily something that you put in the wheelhouse. Like, he would never in a million years probably tell or go like, yeah, Wizards are the best. Like, he might go like, if you want to go DC based or yada yada yada, like, here's advantages or disadvantages, but that would not be his go-to. Like, right now he's on the Alchemist build, I think. Last I looked, he was on an Alchemist build.
But I remember a few months or maybe a year back talking to people on the stream. I think it was YouTube one time. I was talking to somebody, and they're making fun of something I thought was gonna be cool. And they're like, no, it's not good at all. And like a month later, like everybody's playing it because they got like an upgrade. Like, oh, we got one more DC, so now it's like the optimal best thing on the planet. I'm like, well,
That can make a huge difference.
Just get a instead of having the +5 caster stick, get a +6 caster stick. Here you go, there's extra DC.
Often though that's
it didn't
not
change
enough.
the class, it didn't change anything, it's still the same thing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often +1 more is the difference between something being good and something being not good.
It's like fashion, right? If I start wearing bell bottoms again, people would make fun of me. But when they come back in fashion in 2 years, everybody's like, oh, they're the best thing ever. It's like, well, I've been wearing like for 10 years.
Right.
They're stupid. Now
Yes.
they're cool again, right?
During
Well,
the
F
time
you
when you
now.
were wearing them, they were stupid.
Yeah, it's like, well, F you. You know, I'll wear them when I want to wear them.
Yeah, and you can. That's
someone
your.
famous and noticed wears it, then it's like, oh my god, everyone else has to do it now.
Do you see Kanye West's new shirt line? He ripped holes in his shirt and took dirt off the ground and wrote it on his shirt. He sells them for $800 a piece. They're like Hanes white t-shirts with holes ripped in with his hands that ripped dirt off the ground.
Good for him to find a revenue stream, I guess.
But that's kind of like the way I think he deals sometimes. It's kind of like that.
Well, everything's gonna have ins and outs and waxes and waneses. I think I want to be down here.
Because to me, a good player, I'm going to go through the door over here, is one that fits well into a party.
Yes.
That's to me what makes a good team player.
Everybody has their niche, their role. It
Yeah,
can be a
but-
different role. If we have gifts, it's like a different role. You can be the tank, and I can be the wizard. You can be the fighter, I can be the ranger. You know. I just always had bad luck sending those with elephants. In the beginning of the game, it was all that bad that everybody needed a rogue, everybody needed a cleric. The last few years, I really rarely get up with him. It's like, yeah, I just want to deal with someone that has just politics, etc.
Well, yeah, because they're all got bills that they want to soul everything, and I think they just don't know everything they can.
Yeah.
I see. To me, I personally feel like the best players or the best skills or whatever you want to call it does have more to do with the fact that what can you get done without relying on others. Like, independence for me is a very useful quality.
I said a good DPO player. I didn't say the best players.
Sure. And which is what I was trying to say before for V-Love, is again, you may not be the top tier echelon, but when you start looking at the bell curve of people, right, you're gonna be more towards the above average player because you watch the streams, you get the input, you talk to people, as opposed to people out there who, like, oh man, there's someone out there who twitches, like, I could watch YouTube videos and learn how to do this quest that I don't know how to do, or...
Hey, you do them all the time. Cameron watches them all the time. She was doing the ones least traveled. That's how she died on her hardcore shirt.
Yeah, don't use the least traveled video series as how to do through the quests.
Well, she just wanted to see, like, what is a challenge for a new player, like, challenging wise. I thought she'd be more mad when she died, but she was actually kind of proud of her.
Yeah, use the most taken video series as your guide. That's where you learn the ins and outs. The least traveled is like, I'm just trying to figure out how to get through the quest my own self.
I'll give you an example, like the Crucible. I don't like it because I don't do that swim with the spikes very well.
Sure.
Or I get stuck in the groups. It's like everybody's fast, and I'm like, I'll just pull the knobs. Because like, or the shroud, like trying to do all, getting all those stupid portal things at the beginning, I gotta do the stupid codes. I've never done it. And I don't feel like I did pull up my laptop to get the wiki out because we're trying to run this quest super fast. So I'm always like, I'll just stay in the back and just heal people. Just let me out of this box. You know what I mean? Because I don't like
puzzle part.
yeah, I don't like wasting people's time. I really try not to waste people's time. That's why I'm like, oh, you can do it.
Well, at some point, taking the time to learn those skills would save even more people's time, like long term. Alright, what am I looking for here?
You know, like Giant Hole, for example. I know where all the quests are, but if you say go to like Pop, I might go to National Crater. You know what I'm saying? I might just be like, oh, that's that wrong one, that's this one, or the maze one, you know, walk up.
Okay.
You know, some of the other two, like, it's definitely not all, but a couple of the, we would call top tier, uber, top end solo players, I find don't have the patience also to go with people that aren't on their same par.
Exactly. 1000%.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're still not the best players.
Luda's good at it. I tried to play the Shrimp Farm a couple times. That's impossible. Because he's like on like super like double coat meth mode. Not even just, you know.
Yeah,
like I gotta.
they just
Nope.
straight ahead. So,
Yeah, or I'll be like, hey, my bags are flying. I go, well, why don't you give your bags before you got here? Because I just logged in and the LFM was up, so I just hopped in. And I had to have 85 fuel scrolls or something coming in. You know, stuff like that. So it's like you just don't want to do LFM. You're like, okay, I'll just go somewhere else.
I mean, those are weaknesses outside of the player, right? That's, I mean, maybe you loop those in sometimes, maybe not, but like, it's, to me, that's, again, the definition of a good player is, to me, has more to do with their skill in getting things done. Like, that doesn't mean that they're, you know, necessarily good to play with or fun to play with. Alright, what am I missing? Let's figure out what I'm missing. I'm missing 5.
But see, that's why I like helping out streamers that
4.
are very multifaceted.
3. Yeah. Well, I mean, and don't get me wrong, as somebody who, I certainly feel like you more than just help me get things done. Right? I value and appreciate assistance, which is part of the reason why I'm telling you that you've come a long way. And when someone's like, hey, yeah, you're a good player, and you're like, what? I'm not a good player. Like, don't, that's incorrect. That is incorrect. You have come a long way. You've put together a lot of the skills, and you have, like, been developing overall knowledge. You're raising your knowledge up. So you need to not be down on yourself.
I'm just gonna check this out.
Looking for 28? Where the hell is that? Please don't be a million years away. 27.
Cut back through this last path. Get to the other side.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it's a million years away.
Radio Food for the first time ever. It was like I played with the guy for 10 years. It was like super like helpful. Don't worry about if you die. It makes you feel comfortable.
That is
I
very
play with other
good.
people. It's opposite. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man? What kind of cleric are you? I'm like, cleric uses fire disciple tree. Who the fuck uses that tree? You're supposed to be a healer. I'm like, well, how about you just take my cock out of your wife's mouth so you can hear what she has to say about it? I'll leave the channel. I'm like, okay, next. Stuff like that. It's like it's not needed in the game.
Well, and I'm not disagreeing with you that people need to be rein that kind of stuff in a little bit. But at the same time, like, people coming in to enjoy different things, and they don't always communicate that very well, what they're looking for, what they want. Like, oh, I want a cleric that heals. Okay, well, you didn't put that in the LFM. You look for someone with that icon.
I could heal, but it just wasn't my main tree.
Sure.
It wasn't like one I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I
what I'm trying to tell you is that they were not very specific. Like, I want a mainline healer. Like, that's not what they said in their LFM, and that's not what they probably said anything to you about when you joined the LFM. They probably weren't like, hey, I need you to be a mainline healer. Then you would have been like, okay, well then I'll stop screwing around and I'll do this instead. But
Exactly.
until then, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do that I find to be fun. Like that. This is how I built my build to have fun for me. And I didn't build my build to have fun for you unless you ask me to do that. And then I will decide if I'm going to adapt what I want to do to what you want to do.
It's like if I logged in and I saw a ranger in the group, he could be ranged. He could be with a fighter. He could be a mixed build. I don't know. But it's just part of the party.
Right.
Just wondering over here.
So I kind of feel like the people who get upset about stuff like that are people who have expectations that don't share those expectations with you. And those,
That's a very good point.
that's not a... To me, that's not a factor on how good of a player they are. It's just how good of a communicator or leader or whatever.
Put it in a little thing like, hey, look,
Yes.
we're going for 5. You need to have like 4 or 5 past lives or just hard content. That's perfect. Why is that hard to do?
Well, you don't have to have lives to do hard content, but
Just something where
you do, you do have to say, this is the role that we would like you to do. And if you're not...
I can think of the only time is like we do Project Nemesis. He's got like around 1,500 hit points limit type thing. So if you're under 1,000 hit points, it's probably not gonna let you move this.
And that's totally that's fine, but it's like he's not going to let you improve in 20 minutes into the thing. Oh, dude, your hit points suck. You can't he'd be up front and tell you.
Well, he would think about that kind of stuff in advance.
Yeah.
He invites you every season, and he's like, hey, you know, on Destiny, you switch gear, can you get your hit points up?
Perfect.
Like he's like, oh, you got low hit points, fine, boots you. Like, he talks to make sure, something if you can get to it or not, right?
I agree. That's why I said there's certain streamers I think are really helpful.
Well, and that's
They just talk about nothing. I'm like, dude, they're not helping in the game. They're just one guy who knows his name who wears these goofy ass sunglasses all the time. I'm like,
You? Cover?
no, he doesn't wear goofy sunglasses.
He wears like yellow tinted glasses?
yeah.
Well, I'm about to be wearing some of the gamer goggle things too as soon as I get my prescription updated. Because I like the ones that I have, but I don't,
I'll see him stream sometimes. I'll just listen to him. I'm thinking, yeah, I probably would be able to play with him.
yeah, he's good
I played with
people.
him last season, and it's not too bad, but he's up there, he's farming and stuff. He's like, I'm going to clear the quest, just stay on, you guys don't have to do anything. Do if you want, if you don't, just come in and loot your chest for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, again, he's there to, twice now. It seems like half of Gore's deaths are with Noob.
Yeah, I think he's got a recipe to play. There's nothing most people he's with us.
Well, and I think he's like a lot of people where I'll worry about me, you worry about you, but he's also focusing on chat a lot. Like, he does a good stream. I'm not going to say that he doesn't have issues. I think everyone has strengths and weaknesses. But, and I do feel like he has a tendency, at least on the hardcore server, it seems like he's got a high turnaround.
Hey, what's your note?
He's not a person that I'm going to be rocking with.
Let's clear this path up. I was going to do the air temple and then the fire
It says
temple.
I'm missing 14, but I thought I did that.
Air one believer in a full loop.
That sounds good.
Alright.
Now that we know what we need to do, and I'm not going to kill the guy right away.
Oh yeah, I think last night was funny.
But I have Dino this time, so at least if we do, we don't have to do the whole recall 10 times.
Alright. So there's a little thing just south of this village is where I missed the whole big section in there. 11, 13, and 14. 11 is a little bit south of this village.
Last hardcore season towards the end, when I pushed for 400,000, there was 2 groups running dailies. One was Stream Tom's group, and another was I think it was like not X-Files. I think it might have been Justice, Just X. Is that this year? And Stream Tom didn't want me. He didn't want me already in there. I'm like, okay, whatever. And like 10 minutes later, it was like ding, 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 ding. half his party got killed.
Why wouldn't you want an Artie in there?
I think they had another. I don't know. For some reason, he didn't want me. I was like, kind of like the last kid picked up the playground.
Oh, that sounds stupid.
Like, hey, whatever. I know, but then he killed half the party, so I was like, kind of glad I didn't get picked.
Yeah, I mean, it's all those situations are different. You know, I've had people die on me in the groups, and it's never fun.
I don't know, man. Once the game, when people start taking it like it's real life, I think that's a little.
Well, and I think for some streamers it is. You know, for me it is.
No, I mean real life, like not letting the Artie in. You know, it's like, well, why?
Well, they might have a reason. If I don't know. Like, I've had people that have tried to join the LFM, and I'm like, nah. It's not very often, I guess, but because usually I just take the, whoever clicks the LFM panel.
Well, yeah, if it's someone like is like a jerk, you click on
But
the
like,
you know who they are.
I've had situations where it's like, man, we really need some more DPS, and I've had the third cleric has just hit the LFM panel. All right, I'm gonna take it down.
Oh yeah, this wasn't on the LFM. We were like, there's like 9 of us wanting to do the dailies together. We're just breaking parties up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it all happens. Who knows? They're the leader, you know. They can pick or choose.
I don't know anything against Straight Up. I still watch. I like watching him play Dark Souls. And kind of because he usually drinks. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like it too.
You know, but I mean, it was more the point. I was kind of glad I didn't get picked because I would probably be dead.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back. Get our re-bearings again.
Love, right? If you need to.
What's up?
He should on his
guy.
guy.
Yourself, I don't have to watch your hip bar.
Oh no, yeah, I got reconstruct all this stuff.
Okay, cool.
And my wizard, she has reconstruct too. So.
Let's go back over here to this big log. Let's use this log as our.
Okay, so make sure we'll talk to this guy and we'll fight so we get justice done.
Yeah, he has these fire salamanders come out. I just electric loop them and freeze them all. That magic missile. Or maybe whale of banshee, would that work on them? Or that's for undead only?
Well, the banshee is for living things.
Oh, okay, yeah, well.
Alright, there's 13. 13, okay, so we need to go more north. Wow, like way north, okay. God. And the landmarks in here are so trash. Alright, so this is way north. I do not see anything that looks like a star.
And we get a chest. This is a win-win.
13.
I will go up the right side instead.
It's got to be up here. It's got to be. What looks like a bridge has got to be this this waterfall up here. It's the
Here's a question you guys might have the answer to. Are they going to make the sands epic? Because the quests are epic in it, but
the Explorer Zone? I doubt it.
Zone. Would that be hard to do?
It'd probably involve like basically make an entirely new thing because I don't think they're just going to be able to copy and paste the Explorer Zone.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so I'm like, how did this happen? I'm like years the wrong way.
Is that light years or?
Fuck, I don't know, man. Like, I am totally not anywhere near where I want to be. I have 4 things left. 3 of them are together, and one's like probably way at the start. So I'm like running around. I think I know where these are at now. Over by the dragon little cubby hole. But man, I was like, damn, this is.
There's one in the dragon cubby hole.
Yeah, I've got that one. No, it's just like just so far away, and one I thought I already had. So I thought I got it on the way to
Go back to the same side.
Here's a
To the
streaming
Necro
idea.
side.
Maybe you guys, or one of you, or both of you, pick like when you're doing your stream, like say tomorrow night stream, say, hey, Monday night at 5 Central, I'm gonna log into Arganescent. I'm gonna play a new tune or a fifth level tune. So say some of your viewers are on Arganescent and they want to play with you, but they can't because you're in Barcelona or Orlando or whatever. That'll give them more of a chance to like, like, hey man, he's actually gonna play on my server with me.
Yeah, if I was a server hopper, that would be a good thing. I'm just not a server hopper. Yeah, I'm not a server hopper at all. Like, I think...
You're starting over like they start, like they're a new player kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it. I can appreciate it, but I'm not a server hopper. It's just not a thing that I'm there for.
Yeah, right now my next project I'm really working on, I want to get really going, is I'm going to do a 1 to 30 life on kind of a gimpy tune.
Right on.
See, like, and that's why I like the hardcore server. It's like, look, man, you guys, if you want to play and they don't play on Barcelona, guess what? We have a server now where we all can play together. Like, we all have character progress. We all start new characters, etc., etc. That's what hardcore is for me. And then one of these days, I will transfer some random hardcore character over. Instead of sending him to Barcelona, I'll send him to another server. But that's, again, it's really hard for me to kind of make that happen right now. Because it'll just be something that never gets played.
This song is going to... Because I already got a 30 on all of my servers I want to play on, so I'm going to start populating all the other servers with 30.
Yeah.
If you're ever coming to Canada, let me know. I've been on that server since
Oh, I was way from it. Yeah, I think I was going to send this guy to Thalanis, I think, this time. But I can send more over to Canada.
Seeing, like, for example, one of the goals for Patreon has been, if we get something like 20 patrons or whatever it is, then I would start playing that original OG Samus build once in a while. Right? And I would say, okay, this is my original Samus. He's 28 point build, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we can get done. Right? But it doesn't seem to be something anyone cares about enough to kick $1 my way. Like, right now, I think we're maybe halfway to our that Patreon goal.
Do you make a favorite on Patreon, or is it...
It's certainly better now this month, but...
Have you already gotten paid from it?
Oh, I've been getting paid. Like, I can always cash out Patreon. I can cash that out anytime there's money in there. But, okay. I had, like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 people at $3 a month. But for my birthday, I was like, you know what, let's do a thing where if people wanted to, because a lot of people like to give like a one-time thing, but Patreon doesn't let you do that, right? So I'm like, look, guys, if you want, there's a Patreon. You can sign up for a big tier Patreon, and then 1 month, it'll come out on the 1st or 2nd of the month, and then you can cancel. That way you can give directly like a bigger thing or whatever. So I created what I call a big 20 tier of $20, and we've got a couple of very generous people.
Yeah, I'm not canceling.
Who, and I don't think the other person's going to either, but they could if they felt like it, and I would feel okay about it, and it'd be good. I appreciate what people are doing. So yeah, it makes about $50 a month now, which is pretty good. It all adds up, right? Like $50 on Patreon,
$100 a year.
$100 on like $100, $150 on Twitch a month. So now it's making $150 to $200 a month. If I can get YouTube making $100 a month, it's still not enough to like live on or anything like that, but it's enough to cover most of my expenses.
Get gas in your bus.
Yeah, gas in the bus. Put some, like right now, we cashed in. I forget what the last thing I cashed in for the bus, but I cashed in a bunch of money for the bus a few months ago, and then last week, I cashed in a bunch of money and bought the backup camera system that we'll be installing this weekend, I hope. So, like, literally, you guys are helping me build my future home. People who are on the Patreon and kicking money through the various places.
Thank you. The spitters. Bonus spitters now.
So, do you like Patreon better, or do you have something against PayPal?
I don't have anything against PayPal, but getting people to like send you money through PayPal is, I think, an uphill battle. Patreon
I
is.
don't use PayPal, so I don't have money in my PayPal account. I just never transfer money to it.
Yeah, so like, but people can just go to Patreon, put in
credit card or anything else to put to it, right? Like, you don't have to. What I understand.
You can, but it takes time to set that stuff up. Not everyone has that set up. Some people use Vimeo, some people use this thing, some people use that thing.
Cash App, OnlyFans,
Yeah, like there's a bunch of different ones, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's just the one that seems to work out. As long as Patreon hasn't got themselves completely fucked, which it's starting to sound like maybe they did. It'll probably just be the one I keep doing. If it screws up, I'll probably switch to a different one. I can't think what it's called right now, off the top of my head. But
like for Twitch, like when you just get a check, or how do you? So you might just do it by PayPal, right?
yeah, which is fine. But Patreon pays out to PayPal, so if people. And again, so it's set up for like $1 a month. It's like a subscription. I send out
I know Patreon is. I signed up with Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was just like you said for big cash donations. Because I mean, I set up PayPal, and within it was the second day I had set up, someone gave me $20.
Yeah, I could do that. I suppose. I've not had anybody ask for that at all, and I think I would prefer people to rather sign up on Patreon. To be honest, like I would rather them give $1 a month for a year instead of like a one-time donation of $20, even though it's less money. But they're like the more Patreons you have, the like it's a steady, reliable income type thing. So like Forehand, for example. Forehand really wanted to give me a donation, right? A one-time donation. And I'm like, all right, well, I appreciate it, So he went out and bought a gift card, and he gave me the gift card information. And for whatever miscellaneous reason, I couldn't use it. So I'm like, sorry, man, it's not working. So he like spent all this time and energy trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And then I'm like, maybe just use it and put it in your like Patreon or whatever. Like, that's fine. It'll just sit there forever, ticking away, paying me whatever. He's like, all right, well, that's what you want to do. And then he couldn't get it to work. So now he's tied up a bunch of money that he can't get to work because he doesn't want to. He doesn't use credit cards. He doesn't use any of that kind of stuff. He's old school. I'm like, all right, well, just don't worry about it. I appreciate the effort and stuff like that. He's like, well, this money's tied up now. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. You can mail me the card, I guess, and see if I can run it. Like
if you get the numbers, you can shop on Amazon.
Well, we tried. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's something screwed up with it, and it won't work. You know what I mean? Where if it's
like a gift Visa card or whatever, you have to a lot of times set up the postal code and stuff to work with whoever's using it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to go log on the card, check his credit balance to make it purchasable for online.
Yeah, so like he did a bunch of stuff. It turns out I think just the card that he ended up buying was not
a good card, a bad card.
Yeah, something.
It happens when they sit too long. They coding.
I mean, there's money on that account. It's just you can't seem to get the money out. So, to me, again, if most if people want to pay like a one-time thing, go on, hit the thing, jump back out, or you know, you can say, hey, I'd like to give you a one-time donation. I'll send you my PayPal. Like, you know, people want to do that. I have no problem with that. You know, but I feel like it's better for me to have that recurring $1, that recurring $3. This way it's more of like a consistent, because I'm trying to build a consistent income, right? Like, I'm trying to figure out, can I get, you know, for a while I was paying for Spotify out of the stream account, and we were using it and playing it on stream and doing stuff like it was a business expense type thing. So like that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to figure out how we can improve the stream and improve stuff, and yet still have make good product. So like the backup camera, for example, it has 4 cameras. One of the, you know, we're gonna put 2 or 3 of them in backup positions, and one of them I'm going to be able to swivel and turn around and do stuff with, and I'll be able to record any one of those cameras on the backup camera system. So like once I get the backup system installed and working, one of the things I'm going to be able to do is I'll just be able to record working on the bus, which is something that people have asked for. So it is both a project that we're going to be able to do in the future, but it's also going to be a project that's going to help people now, you know? So, like, once I have that raw video, I can go and speed it up, add music, voiceovers, whatever, do stuff like that. Same thing with one of the things I want to do is I want to get a better system for recording video on my drone, you know, and then eventually I want to even get rid of the drone, and I want to get a remote control plane that can take that like GoPro and stuff and put those videos out, because I think that people really like those kind of videos. There's some people that do that stuff and they get a pretty good follower count, but there's not like hundreds and hundreds of them. So that's something I want to add to the list. And then you never see people live streaming those things except through their Facebook. So one of the things I want to do is get it all set up so I can live stream to Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, going flying in places, because I think people really like the opportunity to be like, hey Sam, go back and, you know, take another pass around that over there. Boop, go back over, fly, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
every
I'm doing that with my RCs.
right, exactly. I think people would like that kind of stuff, you know, especially if you have like an RC plane or whatever.
Mine's a Durst. Mine's big scale gas powered.
Alright, somebody has boats. Their gas powered those are pretty dope. Like 3 or 4 feet long, 2 feet long.
Yeah, no, I was just like trying to figure out how to stream it to Twitch and that live. So it'd be like you said, like, let's see Jeff this or whatever, right? And it was like, how am I gonna stream internet from one location to another?
If your phone's hotspot, maybe you just tap the stream room.
Yeah, I can do that. I was thinking get like maybe get Wi-Fi through my car.
There you go. Or just do your neighbors. If you closer, just say, hey, I'm logging into your Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's not these ones are like I'd be out like I think, you know, this is a 5th scale, like it'll do like 40 miles an hour, like it'll do average road speeds. Oh yeah, it's a good 4.5, 5 feet long and about 2 feet wide.
That is dope.
It's got a 28cc, or no, 32cc motor in it. Yeah, so you know, running around the road's kind of like, okay, like it's blah. So, you know, I like tearing it out like in the dirt and the dunes and stuff. Big empty construction lots.
I'm gonna try real quick with my chick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get these doors open.
I think I'm going to wrap the stream here in a minute. My mouse is acting squirrely, which means my computer probably wants a restart. I'm gonna pull a real cheese move though and copy the youtube.com/SamusGrobo again, stick it in the guild chat for people to sub over there. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. There's only a couple people hanging out, so I think when the stream died or the computer died for whatever reason, I don't really know, but got real squirrely here. So anyway, check out DDO Dom. If you're
Yeah, I'm gonna shut mine down too.
alright, well then never mind. But yeah, check that stuff out and don't forget to subscribe over to the YouTube if you need to.
Or you killed that guy somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I just gotta wait till it moves.
Okay.
1,300 points of damage.
Anyway, everybody, you guys have a great night. I'm gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys later, and we'll be back tomorrow morning for Paper Mario. Hope you guys check it out.
Right on.
Toodles, y'all.